another Faith Horizons Kingdom Brief. These are short podcasts between 5 and 10 minutes. The purpose of a Kingdom Brief is to share highlights from ongoing Kingdom activities and announce events in Kansas City. In this conversation with Bill Otterness, you'll learn about Salt and Light, which is a new ministry in town. You'll also learn about a few of the upcoming events that Otterness Missions has, which includes Genesis 1:1. Bill also shared a couple testimonies of people coming in contact with God and their lives being transformed. Here's my conversation with Bill.
The prayer walks have given us like this DNA now that's been a part of us, that pretty much wherever we're at, we just approach people, or they approach us. Really, sometimes they just approach us. And so it's been easier to see more and more people come to the Lord. So I would say on average, just with the ministry work that we do, without having big events, we probably see on average 2 people a week come to the Lord. And so that's well over 100 people a year.
That's incredible.
And then we do big events.
And that's not just at the events. That's just, that's just
going through life, but being intentional about getting through the neighborhood and walking through the streets and being comfortable with approaching people.
So this is like practicing evangelism until it becomes just a part of what you do.
Yeah. And so with the prayer walking and everything, there's another ministry called Salt and Light. And Salt and Light came across me last winter, and we connected really well because they had a heart to do something similar to what we were doing in the neighborhoods with street evangelism. And so they shadowed me and our teams for about 3 or 4 months. And through that time, they kind of picked up on ways that they could do something similar to that in not just South Kansas City, but Grandview area and parts of Belton. So their main focus is Grandview, and Salt and Light Ministry does street evangelism. They're prayer walking every week, and they're going out for about 1 hour from 6 to 7. Same as us. They pretty much just copied us, and they're doing that as a format for now, and putting their own twist on it. But I go out with them. I was out there with them last night. They were doing like a breaking bread event where they had the hot dogs and everything out like we do once a month. And there was a woman there, interestingly. She had been to several of their stuff before, and she was just mean. Just this mean lady. Didn't want to have nothing to do with us, and we know who you are. Just, that's fine. Go away. But last night, she, something broke loose, and she was just open and had great conversation. Her son has autism, and so he was really kind of fearful of us even being around.
Wow.
But I ended up connecting with him with just in a matter of a few minutes. And so we ran around the park and played and everything while some of the other gals ministered to his mother, and just had a great time. And now she got prayed over. Turns out she is a Christian, but she's just not really going to church. And so they made a connection. She's going to start coming to their park church. So another thing Salt and Light's been able to do is start churches in the park.
So is this church in the park, are they going to be using different parks or the same park every week? Yeah,
their base camp, like ours is Sycamore Park in Ruskin, and so their base camp is Jonathan Anderson Park. And John Anderson Park is in Grandview. I think it's on 135th Street or something like that. I can't remember the exact address. But anyway, they'll be there this Sunday doing a Church in the Park event, which involves, they have full sound equipment. They have a grill. And so every church event, it's worship service. Everybody eats first, and then they sit down and have a worship service. And then there's a David McCorn and his wife, Rebecca McCorn. They're the two founders and leaders of the ministry, and they have a full team around them. September 14th, Tuesday in Ruskin, because we have a big event going on there with GX International and Team Extreme International.
And that's this upcoming Tuesday,
yes,
on September 14th.
Yep, September 14th. So we have stuff going on. It kind of comes up pretty fast sometimes.
So it's Church of the Park, but you're going to have some special guests, GS International, and is Team Extreme going to be there?
Yep.
You said? Okay.
Yep. They're coming out, and Salt and Light Ministries will be there. The big focus coming up in the fall is Genesis 1:1. My wife's ministry that she launched out a few years ago, the Fine Arts Ministry. We have another artist talk coming up, October 23rd at Grace Point Baptist Church, where the Genesis 1:1 gallery is. It's actually, we call it the Grace Point Gallery Cafe. On October 23rd at 7 p.m., we'll be hosting the next artist talk. And that'll be Joseph and Emily Amarendez. They're a married couple, phenomenal artists, very creative in a lot of different special ways.
So I heard a couple stories. I hope that you'll be willing to share one of them with us, of you guys just walking through parks, running into people, and then helping lead them through life transformations.
Yeah.
Which one of those would you like to share?
So since we're on the subject with Genesis 1:1, a couple of people from the team, Julia and another gal, Tamara, they went and got involved with a plein air event in Parkville. And at the end of that, there was a time where everybody would come together and all the art would be on display, and then they'd give away the awards because this was an awarded event. And so then after that, we went for a walk, because Parkville's beautiful town.
It's got a nice riverside park.
It's got a great riverside park up there. It's a nice, y'all haven't been up to Parkville, go visit the town. It's really nice. And there's some, it's almost got a little romantic feel to it. And so we did one of those little walks at the end of the whole week, a very busy week for Genesis 1:1. And we went for a walk afterwards, and there was a couple sitting on a bench right there on the walk. And that's right by where we decided to sit down and take a rest. And they started talking about art, because it was obvious there was a bunch of art going on because it was all over. And they started talking about art. And then the gentleman started talking to me about, the state of the world with all the craziness.
Yeah.
And then for some reason he said, hey, when do you think, we said something about Revelation, because I mentioned, this is kind of like the book of Revelation, like end times. And he goes, hey, when do you think that Jesus would return? And I like, well, there's a big open door.
Wow.
And so I gained a conversation with him right away. And Julia walked around to the gal, and she just went head on. And before I know it, these people are coming to the Lord.
Wow.
And we were having two different conversations, and walked away from that. And so Julia was extremely excited. That woman really received it. The gentleman, I think he was still a little faltering, even though he admitted that, yes, I accept this gospel, and I feel like I'm going to be in heaven. But the woman, for sure, she was golden in that. She received that well.